everyone, welcome to Lady Boss Mamas. I'm Molly Ades, and I own a clothing line for breastfeeding and postpartum moms. And I have two boys, Bennett is 8 and Andrew is about to turn 7.
Hi everyone, I'm Kyttanen and I'm with Molly on this journey. I'm a lifestyle blogger and also a sensory and branding marketing consultant. And I have a 17-month-old Aiden, and it's been a fun journey so far. And Molly and I connected on Instagram to share our stories with other women and get their stories about what it's like being an entrepreneur and a mother at the same time. And so with us today is Catherine.
I'm Cowan, and I am a mama to 3, a 9-year-old, a 6-year-old, and a 3-year-old. And I've had my business, or my first baby, I guess I call it, for just over 17 years. And its focus is in holistic wellness. And I really call myself a soul work coach and a guiding light and a teacher of meditation, mindfulness, and yoga.
So 17 years, that's a long time to have the business. Was there something, because a lot of them, when you're first starting, we talk about like the first year, the first few years launching something. What was it like for you, like 17 years ago? How has your vision kind of shifted?
It shifted so much. And I feel like actually a couple of years ago, I started a whole new version of my business in a way. And I'm in a bit of a repositioning place right now. So I feel like I can speak to both really well. So it began once upon a time just strictly with yoga and healing. And then, flash forward to all the things that motherhood teaches us, because it's constantly teaching us. And I really think that my kids were a huge part of where I've evolved to, over the past 10 years, how I've evolved into where I'm at right now, from the minute I got pregnant, until now. And so, now that my youngest, so I said 3, but he's 3.5, it was about a couple of years ago, I really started to step into a new version of my business. So, partway along the line, I brought coaching in. Meditation was always a part of things, and the coaching really kind of completed the puzzle for me. Mm-hmm. So it really was the thing that I realized I'd always been doing, but I hadn't really put that label to it. And so now I created an online business. I still work a lot one-on-one with my clients. But 4 months ago, my family and we moved to Costa Rica. So now I can be, where my business began in Toronto, Canada, and it was very local to that. And although I have an arm of my business for kids and mindfulness and yoga for them, now my business is really anywhere. And then also local to where I am. And then of course, I have this beautiful hub in Toronto still. So it's morphed a ton over this time, and definitely the kids aspect of things was inspired by the birth of my first child. And as each child came and the lessons they were here to teach me, I think it kind of leveled me into the new places of my business. It's beautiful.
It's beautiful.
When you talk about coaching, can you be more specific as to what type of coaching you're doing? Like, what are the major topics and kind of things that people come to you about?
So the main type of client that I see is a woman, a mom, and someone who really, when they consider who they are, they're like, when I look at myself and I feel out who I am, I really, from an outside perspective, have it all. I've kind of everything that I've ever wanted, I kind of have, but something feels like it's maybe missing, and I don't know why. And they know there's maybe something more. The people that I see tend to be high achievers, a lot of A-types. They can be people too that struggle a bit with anxiety because life is overwhelming, and that's just, what happens. And so what I know that I'm really great at is creating like calm waters and a safe place for people to really get clear on who they are and what their purpose is, what their intentions is, so they can really come into the place in life where they feel joyful, where they feel alive, where they feel vibrant and fulfilled. Because the type of client that usually comes to me knows that that's possible, but kind of wakes up and is like, why am I not right there? So I call what I do soul work coaching, because I really feel that it allows people to connect to their soul. And soul is kind of a word that, you know, Oprah kind of made popular, or understandable. Yay,
Yeah.
Oprah. But really, when I use the word soul, and what I really encourage people to live life with soul, is just live life feeling their truest self.
So
Sure.
for a lot of people, when they hear like what you're talking about, it might be like a little bit like wishy-washy or a little bit clear. So when you talk about soul work, and maybe you could just give like one practical like method that you would use to help somebody in that journey, just like one tip or trick that you have up your sleeves that you don't mind sharing.
There's there's two things I would say that are like foundational and really huge. One thing is, I would challenge every single person. So everyone listening, if you do not have a morning ritual that you engage in, which of tuning into yourself. So you may be like, oh, meditation. I'm not sure if I can, you know, sit there. Meditation looks like sitting there in total Zen for 45 minutes without a thought entering my mind. Well, that's BS, because that doesn't exist for anybody. But one way you can start to tune into yourself and be more mindful is to take a journal, a piece of paper if you don't even have a journal, if journaling's too woo-woo, and write out, I am, answer what that is. I am what? I'm really tired because my baby had me up all night. Maybe that's what you are. Number two, I choose. I choose to be a patient, loving mom today, because that may be what you're working towards. Or maybe it's like, I choose to be healthy and fit because you know you want to get to the gym on that day. And then the third thing is I am grateful for. So that's just simply like, we have a million things when we take a moment to connect what we're grateful for. That can be a meditation practice even for people. That can be something to get them to tune in. That practical step of starting to get connected here, as opposed to living here and all the like busy to-do list that happens, is a super, super, super powerful practice.
I love that. Thank you.
I choose.
And I'm grateful for.
That's great. And Laura and I have been talking about this idea, and I think that it's not a coincidence that this work starts to happen when we become moms. That inner voice that you're talking about, like that inner desire to like, what am I missing? I have the family, I have the relationship, I have the house, I have the job, I have all these things. So like, what's wrong in here? But I think when you become a mom, you start to get this like outside chatter. Yes. And we forget about ourselves. And when you start to forget about yourself and the focus goes off, like that, even like a 5 or 10 minute morning ritual to bring you back there makes such a big difference.
Totally.
How do you recommend then to women, so the type A achiever, everything that you mentioned around the typical woman profile that you work with speaks very largely to me, and I'm sure Molly could nod her head too. How do you recommend to women, because in one way we feel like this overachievement has gotten us to where we are, and so that's kind of, you know, I was watching this video of this mom speaking about children and how we're not so different as adults from children. It's like when you are getting a reward for something, then you keep wanting to do it. But it doesn't always make you, what got you here doesn't always get you to the next level or to the next step. So how do you recommend to women to shift gears? And does it mean that they no longer should be overachievers? Or does it mean that it just looks differently? Like, what is that sort of vision that you give women on how to be better to themselves, you know?
So what it really is what you're describing, what I hear you're describing is a woman that like pours love out to everybody, right? Like so good. Love into all her achievements, love into all her children, all her relationships, but when, like at what point did it not become okay to love on self? So that's where there becomes a bit of a shift in perspective. So let's say you have a rare quiet moment where the kids are playing and you're enjoying your cup of coffee or tea or whatever it is. And you're like, so there's one mentality, oh my gosh, I got to get this coffee in me because I got to wake up because I had a horrible sleep last night, da, da, da. Like there's that, right? Or could it be, this is so nice that I get to nurture myself and like reward myself with this beautiful warm liquid, that I love the taste of so much, and it makes me feel so good. Or you go to the gym and it's like, oh, I gotta go to the gym. I have to go to the gym. I want to get this baby weight off, or I want to stay fit. I just have to. It's a should. I must. As opposed to, I want to go to the gym because it's a sign of how much I love myself and how much I deserve to feel energized and amazing, so I can be even that much more present for everyone I love in my life. So I'll just give one little tiny example. So right now I have this fun 21-day journaling prompt challenge. It's a fun thing on Instagram, and it has those 3 things and then just an additional extra little like journaling prompt to write about, to connect to self. And today it was a simple one. It was just like, I feel healthy when, and as an additional thing on Insta stories, I was talking about it and I said, and to also consider the things that make you feel healthy and the feelings you're feeling when you're healthy. And I had one of my clients respond back in messages and said, thank you so much for that perspective shift, because what you did is you just helped me see, because she's had some health problems, which she's come over a lot of them, but it was the first time she thought of her health as something that was empowering and that she could invite in, as opposed to what's wrong with me. What am I not doing? What's not enough? So it was instead like this, a positive way of viewing it. And this is, we get into these default behavior patterns and default ways of functioning through our existence, and they're ingrained from when we're children. So this is what really soul work coaching does, is helps to release limiting beliefs, release old patterns and behaviors that aren't serving you anymore, so that you can come into a space where you really are able to see life and yourself in a new perspective.
When you tackle things in life with that idea, it is so much easier to go with the energy and the flow of what you're supposed to be doing.
Yeah, totally. And the one analogy I use all the time with that is like, we all know what it looks like when we try to hold water in our hands. Like you could crinkle your hands as close together as possible, but the reality is the water's going to seep through. And so just letting the water flow, it's going to flow anyways. So the more we hold on to anything, it's not going to change what's going to happen anyways. So being easier on ourselves and trusting and just breathing, is such an important reminder we can give ourselves every single day, because life is going to present hiccups and challenges and hurdles constantly. That's why we're here. We're here to learn and stretch and grow, or else we just wouldn't be here, So it's about welcoming those things and inviting a perspective that becomes empowering and seeing it as a growth experience, not as something that, we're here to play victim to.
If you had the opportunity to ask a psychic and have a magic ball for one thing in your life, what would that question be? What would you want to know and have insight into?
Oh my gosh, what a huge question. I have like a million things. Okay, I'll just answer for present moment. So today was a bit of a tough morning with the kids. There's just I think everyone's tired. We had a lot of visitors over the past while. And so I'm going to speak to just today, because there's so many levels of that I would want to answer. But just to today, I just would love to have a look in the ball, so to speak, the psychic ball, to just see that this work that I continue to consciously and mindfully do every single day, and that I share with my children and my family, that, I just want to see them in a space where they're thriving and feeling beautiful and fulfilled and nourished as a result of it, in the way that I, my heart really hopes and wishes for them.
I think that's beautiful. I think a lot of women would like to see the same. Thank you so much for joining us. Just a quick question for anybody that wants to reach out to you and work with you, what's the best way to get a hold of you?
So you can reach out to me through Instagram. As we said, my handle is Catherine Cowan __. Or my website is theholisticway.ca.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, this has been a pleasure. I could just talk to you forever. I feel like this is how it is in every interview. We just want to keep chatting.
Yeah.
Molly and I are hoping to get all the women together in October for a retreat, and we would love for you to be part of that. We think that you can have a really great sensory experience for some of our attendees. So we'll have to chat with you more about that.
Yeah, I'd love to chat more about that.
And for all of our followers, we do this every week. Please subscribe to our channel, Lady Boss Mamas. And really, thank you so much for watching. And thank you, Catherine, for sharing everything with us today.
Thank you so much for having me here. This is so fun. Thank you.